Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Simply Colorful Fibercast. Today's date is March 27th, 2020. My name is Lynn Marquidon, and I'm your host. And boy, has it been a long week. How are you doing? I can't believe how much the world has changed in a week, and we'll talk about a little bit about it, but really the point of Fibercast is for all of us just to come together and do something we love for an hour. It's amazing what we can accomplish. We always say that. Amazing what we can accomplish in 60 minutes, and we do it together. So, as always, this isn't a tutorial. This is just me sewing, you sewing, or doing anything you want. Hi, Carol. Nice to see you. I bet it's late there. I'm sorry to hear about your elected officials over there. And Prince Charles, too. Is that right? Yeah. Anyway, I digress. You know, I can't go off script. Welcome, grab a project, and let's see what we can sew together. As you can see, I am continuing to make my scrappy quilt. I don't know how I'm going to arrange those blocks, but this is something that we started last week or the week before while I'm playing in my scraps. And if you saw down here, you would see I have an explosion of scraps. And it's just simply a 9-patch made out of 1.5-inch squares. And then I cut a 2 4-inch squares in half to put this around. And then let's see, what does it measure here? I guess it can measure 5.5 inches once I trim it up. So it depends if on my design I'm going to want to show any of the edge, which might be kind of cool to show 1/4 inch all the way around rather than meeting right there. Anyway, that's what I'm making. I'm having a ball. I found this in my stash. Ooh, someone's calling on our phone. This, which is so pretty with the houses and the blue and the green. And Bob is just about finished with a spare bedroom, which we painted. We went and we picked paint. Yes, we did go out of our house. We went right up the street to Hopkinton Lumber, which is supposedly essential. And we went in there. We kept our distance from everyone. We used Clorox, the whole bit, and we got lemon ice paint. And that is what he's painted the spare bedroom in. And we're going to move into it. And I thought I would make us a quilt. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. It's nice to think about my own quilt, to tell you the truth. I've been making a lot of customer quilts and doing a lot of customer work, which is great. Don't get me wrong. It's nice to just play. Also, and we're gonna talk about some quilting answer books. We'll do some Q&A around quilting. Always send your pictures or what you're working on to lynn@simplycolorful.com. I know Marquet has sent in some information about her garden. Please send in what you're working on and tell us how you're getting through this very difficult time in our world with the Corona-19 pandemic. Speaking of which, and I was very reluctant to get on this bandwagon, and I still am. The mask bandwagon. I think it's great. Everyone wants to help. Everyone wants to do something. And I've been seeing masks being made. I was waiting for a specific hospital with a specific need and specific requirements to reach out and say, yes, this is what we need. Hi, Linda. So nice to see you this afternoon. It was a beautiful day. Linda dropped off some quilts to be quilted here at the Simply Colorful Machine Quilting Studio, and it was great to see her and her husband. So thanks, and I'll see you on April 1st in Milford with them done. And tomorrow I'll send you the designs. So anyway, Linda and I actually were talking about this too, about how the need for masks, we wanted to be certain that they were really usable and useful and not just a futile attempt. It was. And my mother and I talked about it too, and she has read that really you need to check in with the hospital and see if they can in fact use the masks. I saw Lowell General Hospital up in Lowell, Mass. Put out a call for them. My brother-in-law's daughter, Bridget, is working at the Franciscan hospital here, and they need masks. So he sent me a pattern to the N95 mask cover. So it's a pattern designed by a nurse who posted it, and she has designed this mask that goes over the N95. Now, what that does, maybe it allows them to use the N95 longer mask, but I know you're not supposed to, but if they run out of those, maybe they put this over and it further protects the N95. I don't know, but I made a couple of this version. I did post the PDF in the Simply Colorful Mystery Quilt Along. So, what is Mary saying? Hi, Mary. Our hospital supplied kits with surgical paper and patterns. 37 done, 23 need ties. Working on them now. Oh, that's excellent, Mary. Excellent. So you have a specific hospital that is saying they will use them. I think that's the best approach. I really do. So I'm going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm going to make these, deliver them to Bridget, who's going to bring them to Franciscan Hospital. Let's see how they work, and then we'll go from there. So again, I've posted the pattern in the Simply Colorful Quilt Along on Facebook. If you're not a member of that, join it. That's where we post our files. I did also post a link on the regular Simply Colorful page, but then I tried to delete it. So hopefully you're not seeing that because the link wasn't working. That's why I deleted it. So that's what I'm planning to do. What are you making? Mary's making masks. Anyone else out there making masks? I think I talked to Jean and Christine and Anne earlier today, and they were thinking about it. I know Lima is making masks. But again, I would caution, everyone is cautioning me and us to identify a recipient before you make a whole bunch of them. You want to make sure that they can be used. So anyway, let me show you how I'm making this one. And the maker is described, the name of the maker is described in the PDF. And I probably technically am not supposed to show you the instructions. So I'm just going to, because there's a video too that's free and anyone can see it. But I want to be respectful of their video. But basically you cut 2 pieces that are shaped kind of like that, right? And I'm actually amending the pattern. So what I'm doing is I'm sewing along the top and the bottom. So I'm sewing there and there, and then I'm turning it right side out, and ironing it. So that's what I have here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create 3 pleats in it, and I'll iron it and measure it. Create 3 pleats, and then I'm going to sew on each side so that the pleats stay in place, but can open up, right? Oh, I do that next. Then I make 2 darts on each side, and that's what these things on the pattern are, is their lines, and that's where I sew. And then I cut it off. So here's the original pattern. You end up having a raw edge of the 2 darts. See, so I put it together and then I sewed, and then that worked, but I didn't like having the raw edges. So I'm doing it this way, and I'm doing the darts. Oh, that's right. No, I did the darts next before I did the pleats. So, and then, what did I do? I wonder if I goofed already. I think I goofed on all of these. Don't, you know that thing going around, don't be a dick. Don't be a Lynn. This is ridiculous. Don't be like Dick. So how am I going to make that pleat without, I'm not taking these all apart. So I'll do it the right way here though. So what I did was I put the wrong. This is just classic. If Sandra's out there, I hope you're laughing. Why do I always get things confused? So fold each side in half and draw where you're going to sew. So we have all done it just last week, in fact. Hi, Ben. Nice to see you. I hope you're hanging in there. Aw. Pat says, hi, Lynn. Our church group made 125 on request from an assisted living facility. Oh, excellent. I'm working on another 20 requested from a local nursing home. Perfect. Perfect. That, I think, is great. So you know the recipient, and who's there? Let me go check that in a minute. So then I take my other one. And so now I've drawn that. Who was that, by the way? Let's see. It was Jean. Something about ice cream. Jean is hosting, or actually Chris is. Chris and Jean, and we're going to do a virtual movie night on Sunday night. We're going to watch How to Make an American, I think that's the name of it, American Quilt. It's free on Netflix until April 1st. And that's thanks to Jean. What have you been doing to keep yourselves busy and occupied? Which I think is very important this time around in what we're living through, because you can just spend a lot of time and energy thinking about what ifs that really no one knows for sure. Although we certainly know a lot more than we did 2 weeks ago about the virus, and hopefully scientists do too. And I still am a believer that staying in place and doing our part not to spread the virus is the most powerful weapon we have against this for now. So if you can quarantine yourself, please do. In the scheme of things, a few weeks in one's life to save other people's lives is going to be well worth it. I promise. And it's everywhere. Not to scare people, but we've had 6 cases here in our town. I think they're all going to make it, although I don't have any knowledge either way. Okay, so now I've done the darts. Now we put the wrong sides together and we sew on the 2 ends. Does that make sense? So I'm just going to pin once on either end. And it's very easy to turn. I'm also interested. Hi, oh, Cherish, I'm so sorry. Cherish had 9 die in their county. Which county are you? Where are you? If you want to say, you don't have to. Are you down in New Jersey? I'm so sorry. Who's there? Hello, Chris Myers. It was so good to see you earlier today. Aw. And if Deb is out there, happy birthday. She's our birthday girl out in California. So who is, oh, I know, this is a random thing. Oh, Northern Colorado Springs, Colorado of Paso County. Oh, Cherish. Oh, good. I'm glad someone went shopping for you. Hi, KB. Is it sunny in Pennsylvania? I love seeing your picture on your walk. You know what? In this time, if anyone wants to post on the quilt along, on the Simply Colorful Mystery Quilt Along page, anything you want to post that maybe you're doing, maybe not, that's positive. How about that? Ways that you are, whether it's quilting or not, ways that you are making the most of these days, because there are some good things about this quarantine. I think Linda Grant said it very well earlier today in a mail message. She said she was loving the opportunity to just look around and see what next project she could work on with her stash. And we do. We have the luxury of not having a big schedule, which I love. I must say, I love being able to wake up in the morning and do exactly what I want to do when I want to do it. It's how I am made. Sorry about that. This makes a lot of noise. I wonder if Allie is out there. And Violet and Reed. I should ask Ben if you are still out there. Am I supposed to send things to your P.O. box still? And is it 350 or 351? I can't remember. Hello, Allie Hale down under. It's so nice to see that you're out there. Good morning. We're talking about ways to cope. So, who's taking walks? I know I am, but, this is what I was going to tell you. I discovered, and this is, I don't know if anyone else has done this, and I'm interested if you have a suggestion. I discovered that in the last week and a half, since I haven't been working and I've been home, that I've been walking around in bare feet a lot. I've been working up here in the studio. And my plantar fasciitis has been killing me. And I think it's because I was walking in bare feet. So now I'm wearing my tennis sneakers religiously, morning, noon, and night. And that seems to be helping. Didn't know if anyone had heard of any slippers or things that you can wear inside that have arch support. Anyway. Okay, so if you see this, now I'm turning this inside out and I'm going to iron this open as much as I can. And I'm kind of, yeah, I did. Okay. It's not ideal, but it's okay. So now what I did is changing my foot to my 10D. And then I move my, oops. Oh, that's cool. It saved it for what it was doing before. So I'm just going over to do a top stitch. And because this foot has the little gauge, little side piece of metal that I can work up against, the seam is nice and straight. There we go. I used it on this and it worked great. This one I didn't. I did a different way, and the stitching is all wonky. Does not look good. Oh, I know my sister has been feeding her birds. Aren't they fun? Did I see Norma's out there? Is Norma out there? Okay. So there's that. Now we need to do the pleats. And the pleats are very easy. On the pattern, there is about 1/2 inch marks, 3 of them. And what you do is you center it, and this can be ballpark. I mark the 3 spots. See these little, what are those called? Indentations? What are they called? Sewing marks. Okay. After you make these 3 tucks, it should measure about 3 inches across. Okay. So there's one. Now we'll do the other tuck. Make sure you have the tucks go the same way. I don't believe it matters which way. But I have the tucks going this way, so I think we'll do one of these, and then I'm going to do my scrap quilt. Okay, so now we do just a little stay stitch. Oh, did I tell you last week that I found a bread maker on the side of the road? Well, since then we have made some bread. And hope to make more tomorrow with a recipe that my mother sent. Okay, so there we go. Now what? Okay. So now we take 2 of these, which are 1.5 inch strips, across the whole edge of the material. Caitlin and James. Hello. And Connor, if he's still up, but I bet he isn't. Oh, no, Allie, you can't buy. Oh, no, Allie says she can't buy flour here to make bread. Oh, I'm sorry. Completely out? Oh. There wasn't any yeast around, and my friend Jean dropped some off one morning. And actually, I was talking to Roxanne, and she said they were out of flour where she was. Oh, what is going on? Okay, so now I'm putting this in the middle. Oh, good. Crocs. Thank you, Linda. Yes, believe it or not, Crocs are supposed to be good to wear. Stay safe. Thank you. Oh, no. And Cherish had to go into 3 stores for bread last week and 2 for flour. Oh, Cherish. Oh, I don't have to do a stay stitch here. Oh, changed my foot. Oh. So, it's hard not to watch the news all the time, for me anyway. And so we're doing other things, right? We're sewing, we're walking, we're making bread. What else are people doing? Figuring out Hangouts. So who is using Hangouts? Thanks to my friend Jean, who turned me on to starting a Hangout from a Google Calendar. That seems to work pretty well. But everyone keeps talking about Zoom, so now I'm kind of curious, but I think I have to download some software, and the free version, I'm not sure how limited that is, but I think I'm going to try that. That's where you get spoiled with your work IT department. KB. We had a lot of different platforms after Dell bought us, but we had WebEx. Definitely Cisco WebEx was always a good one. Then we went to Skype Business, and you did your video conferencing there. And I'm sure there were many others that came and went. Like for training, they would find a different training platform they liked. For years, I was using Hangouts right here, and I was scheduling Fibercast ahead of time. And then, what was it, 6 months ago at least, they changed that, and it was very hard for me to schedule from here. So I found this, what I do now is this live from YouTube, the YouTube platform, and it automatically records and saves. But I think it might be time to go investigate again and try it again. I just get so frustrated. I just do not do technology. It just frustrates the heck out of me. So this is what we will work on for right now. Enough about that. Oh, here we go. Linda says, I love Zoom. 40-minute on the free account. Oh, easy download from the App Store. Thank you, Linda. Maybe that's what we do. We do little short power bursts of togetherness. Thank you for that feedback. Oh, Mom, planted the potatoes in the garden? That's great. Wow. Do you have to plant them deep, or do you cover them with earth over time? Wow. That's so good, Mom. Think of all the yummy food you're going to have this summer. Okay, so now I switch back to my other foot. Not this one, but my other foot. I love that we are going to work on the garden too, Judy. Not sure what to plant. Excellent. Allie, what's your climate like in Australia? Like, do you have zones? I think we're zone, Ben, Karen, Mom, correct me. Are we zone 5 here in Massachusetts? Have to look that up. Okay. Plant in a trench and cover it as they grow. Thank you, Mom. Did everyone know that about planting potatoes? As they grow, you have to cover them up with more soil. So sometimes you'll see potatoes planted in tires. Now I'm remembering that. I can half remember why, but planted in the tire, and then maybe you add another tire as they grow up, add another tire and add more soil. So at the end, you might have 3 tires high and a plant that's grown up with all these potatoes that are underground. So Mom did a trench. Oh, the vineyard is 7A. Okay. Wow. Thanks, Mom. Okay, and I want to do a leader ender here. Oh, this is what my little 9 patch should be for leader ender. Huh. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who's doing their own dyeing of their own hair? Oh, do you believe we're living? Hopefully we're living through this. This is surreal. My heart goes out to people who get sick. I just hope none of us get sick. What am I doing? Okay, I don't want to do that. Tendy. Okay, there's my leader ender. Now let's get back to these straps. So what I've done is I've sewn this 1.5 inch strip, a big heavy 1/4 inch seam there. I folded it over, I ironed, and I have ironed a heavy 1/4 inch on either side of this strip. Ironed in the edge. Now I am going to just sew it all shut. And I started this leader ender because this machine tends to make a little knot of fabric. It pulls it down. Although I probably don't have the right plate here. I don't have the single hole. I have the 9mm plate, which makes it worse. It pulls it down more. Oh, so it was so fun to see everyone who participated in Gundren's quiltathon, her quarantine mystery quilt. I love that. She called it Elvira. And in fact, Linda brought her Elvira. So I'm quilting my first Elvira. We'll come up with something really fun and modern and linear. And if anyone else out there has an Elvira top that they want quilted, I'd be happy to do it. Oh, goody. Who's out there? Oh, good, Carol. I'll go check out your pictures. And Cherish is funny. So we're talking about our hair and how when we can't go out, no one can do it. She says her nails are going to be a mess. I hear you. And if you had gel, do you have to take that off? So Carol's doing frolic. Okay. Allie says, I always use leaders enders. Okay. Sewing the cut off bits of frolic as my leader enders now. Excellent. Joanne, hi. She says, I'm in Vermont. The old adage here is the earth is warm enough to plant if the weeds are growing. Good adage. Okay. Steve is asking about the nurses' masks. I have a few. Need to make sure they are usable. We'll bring them by after Fibercast. Okay. Oh, Carol, your pictures. Sorry. That was not very good pod. Okay. Okay, here we go. Here's what Carol Bell is working on. She says, hi, Lynn and Fibercasters. I hope everyone is keeping well. Yes, Lynn, she says, we have some senior politicians and Prince Charles with the virus. Not that I know them personally. I understand. I have been working from home and haven't left the house all week. Good. I've gained a couple of hours every day due to not traveling to work. I've been continuing to work on my frolic quilt. I've gotten my rows sewn and I'm starting to sew them together, and I've gotten the first half done. Difficult to show as it's on point, so a big triangle. Yours, Carol, in Yorkshire, England. Hope everyone keeps safe, she says. You too, and I'm so, oh, wow. Look at that. Can everyone see that? That is beautiful. Oh, look at all those pieces. I'm going to download the other one. Oh, Carol, look at that. That's just stunning. Beautiful. Oh, Susan, that's funny. Susan says her car's name is Elvira and she is 27 years old. Nice. Well done. From Georgia. Be safe, she says. You too. You too, indeed. Okay. So if I were doing the leader enders right, I would have ended on another leader ender, but I didn't. So we're going to start another one here. I'll do it as a leader. There's one side. That looks good, nice and long. Oh, and this one needs to be ironed. Oh, heavy sigh. So, these masks do take longer than you would think. There are lots of patterns out there online, as everyone has seen. And again, I would just caution to find a direct recipient, just like everyone has done, and know that they will be used before you spend a lot of your time and effort on them. Okay, so and I do have to keep thinking that these aren't going to be worn very often, I don't think, or, you know, they might be worn once and thrown away. So it's not critical to spend a whole lot of time, right? Okay. Oops, I hit the wrong button. There we go. Okay. Oh no. Mom says the weeds have started. She likes that adage. Yes. So, Carol Bell, have you seen the Bonnie Hunter and Cozy Quilt design? I have not. Are both doing free quilt alongs. Oh, that's excellent. I'll have to look those up. Okay, so there is an N95 mask cover. So now we have 1, 2, 3. They're pretty. Let's make ourselves one of these 9 patches. How are we doing? Wow! It's amazing what we can get done in 60 minutes. Okay, I'm going to change my foot. That. I've lost some of these, so this might be. So then I do my little webbing even on these little ones. Oh, let's make sure. That do it in the right order. Okay, now I'm going to finger press to the dark side. Okay. Hi, Pat. I love knowing I'm not the only person who uses 1.5 inch squares. It's true. They're so satisfying, aren't they? My sister KB uses 1.5 inch squares too. I have enough fabric to make many lifetimes worth of 1.5 inch square quilts. And then this is the fun part. So then I spin my seams, right? Because then it looks really good on the back. I'll show you what I mean. That's funny. I spun my seams. Okay. I love spinning the seams, always looks good. It's so true, right? Now, what kind of green? So I'm doing dark greens in the middle and then lighter greens around the edges. Oh, that's not very light. This is my problem. I don't have that many light on light greens, but I'm going to make whatever I have in my pile work. I think I'm going to go with that. It's very bright. And then we will call it a night. So if anyone out there wants to share something, please do. In addition to seeing what we wanted to accomplish in 60 minutes, I definitely just wanted to make sure that we checked base. I'm going to do this every Friday night at 8 o'clock. I'm not going to change the schedule right now. And we'll just check in and make sure that we're getting on, help each other, support each other. Really, the best thing we can do is reach out to your family members, make sure they're being taken care of, which I know you all are doing. Take care of yourself. You can't help anyone else if you're not well yourself. Ooh, try coloring your own hair or cutting it. No, I'm kidding. But I will cut my hair. That will be a treat. I usually get to a point where my bangs just drive me crazy and I cut them off. Oh, yes, Allie, check out Bonnie's QAL. Can't have too many projects. Allie, you are the most prolific quilter I know. And the thing is, you do get them done. So you go, girl. Okay. So let's give this a good press. And a little starch for good measure, because I've discovered I like starch. Bzzz. And there we go. The question is, are we going to put something else in the middle? We'll have lots of time to play with that. So I think that's it. If you only knew how many UFOs I have. Well, I don't, so that's good. Oh, I think I've said hi. Can you show up close the spinning seam technique? Of course I can, Linda. Yes. Okay. So this is I'll show you the end result, and then I'll show you how to do it. So see how those 4 seams kind of, you see the 4, you spin them. Okay. So to get that to happen, you have to make sure to sew them I'm going to sew dark on light and light on dark. Okay, So here, I'm going to make a 4 patch, and I'm going to spin the seams on the back. Okay, so I've just webbed those two together. Now the first step is to make sure that you iron consistently on both sides. I'm going to iron to the dark on both of these. I'm going to even iron it right now and show you. So I've just ironed to the dark. Now I'm going to put these two together, right sides together, and nest the seams, which I'm sure you do. So I'm nesting the dark and the light seams together. And then sew it together. Now, because I webbed them together, so there they are. Because I webbed them together, there's a little piece of thread that's going up and over that I do have to cut. So that's where I take my seam ripper and I go and I just make sure that's cut so that I could open up the whole seam there. Then what you do is you kind of dislodge the seams all together. You kind of pull it apart like that. And you haven't gone back and forth on your seams, by the way. You haven't set them with a knot or a back and forth. So you kind of pull them apart. Then by doing that, when you open it up, you can push toward the dark, toward the light and toward the light, and it opens up and you spin your seam. If you went both toward that, that wouldn't work, right? If you ironed it all up, that wouldn't work. If you tried to iron that way, it wouldn't work. So it does depend. You have to iron it the way that they're going to spin, if that makes sense. They only spin one way. So in this particular example, for example, you have to be able to live with the fact that you have a dark fabric on the back of your light fabric. And there you go. Okay. Well, I think that's it. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me. Hang in there. I'll see you next Friday night right here on Fibercast. Go do something you love. Talk to someone you love. And we'll see you in a week. Be well. Be safe.